So the thing is, there are a lot of links that are happening, right? But you know that there are things where it's not just, I'm not just signing one option. I'm trying to get multiple options also.
Yes. So like what you say, Ineos, right? They are doing a different approach, very very different approach from last maybe like 3 managers or 4 managers. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Futbol Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. I am your host Elder and I am joined by my fellow Kaki bro, Paul. Paul, how you doing, bro?
I am doing good, brother. It's a Sunday afternoon. I think it's
what is it?
Restful day.
Restful day? I've been a bit tired lah. Never sleep enough past few days.
Why? You're watching the Olympics?
No lah, bro. Olympics has been far from my mind. I've been handling some other stuff lah, work, personal stuff, everything. The sleep has not been my best friend, even though I know that I do need it. But speaking of the Olympics, right, a lot of people don't really know that the Olympics is going on because it's not been heavily advertised. Am I correct?
I would say they will just know that like now the Olympics has just started because the opening ceremony was like 2 days ago.
Yep.
So only now then they realize it's ongoing. But I'm pretty sure if you ask them what sport is going on right now or when is the Singapore athletes going to play,
nobody will know.
Knows, yeah. Unless you really go and like research and you go and search the Olympic schedule, right? Because a lot of it is in the AM, bro. Like the games are like what, 3 AM?
No, it's because the thing is everybody in Japan because the previous Olympics was Japan, am I correct?
Yes, Tokyo.
So Japan time is a lot closer to Singapore time.
Yes.
But it's further away from like European time. So essentially what happens is that when you do an Olympic Games that is in the European time zone, right, compared to us, it's basically the same thing as when you're watching football over the weekend. So it's like major events, if let's say they're carried out at lunchtime or in the late afternoon, right? You're talking about maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 12:30 in the afternoon, right? You're talking about 11 o'clock to 12 midnight at night one. So
like right now, right, at the moment we are at 4:25 PM in Singapore, right?
Correct.
So it's like morning 8:30 AM in France. So currently now I was watching just now the table tennis. But that's like the early stages, you know. Like when it comes to the final, all this will be at night.
Yeah, because those are the premier timings, right? So if those are the premier timings, right, then it's different. But I don't know, like for me, the Olympics is lost its law, right? But I think the thing that people have been talking about, right, and even though this was done in the previous Olympics, is talking about the cardboard base that have been brought over by France in the France one for the athletes, right? So, yeah. I mean, honestly, right, bro, to me, if I'm an athlete, right, I will also get pretty upset if you to give me a cardboard box to sleep on.
I'm pretty sure there's like mattress or padding on top of the cardboard. So I don't think it will be an issue.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I've seen some videos on TikTok or like even Instagram stories from athletes, right, saying that, there's no air conditioning, so it's one thing. So they have to bring their own fans. Then in summertime, it's hot. Then on top, the initial thing when they come in and the bedding wasn't given.
Yeah. And then they had to sleep on the cardboard, right? They
had to sleep on the cardboard. Then after that, only later, then the bedding was given.
I really think, right, is the host country plays a very, very big part.
Yes.
Like, everyone might think that, Paris or France is like, very well to do. They sure will get it right as compared to like China and all this, right?
Yeah.
And Tokyo maybe. But it's, from what I've been seeing, right, it's a shambles, bro.
Yeah.
Especially France. Yeah, because it's like summertime, it's super hot. I think crime, there's like every other new day I read, there's like new crimes, you know. And it's like towards the like tourists and the athletes. Yeah, so I feel it's very
it's not good look for France.
Shambolic so far, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good look for France. But I think it also pays dividends to basically looking out for thing where like in the terms of sport, right, it's become a money thing more than it has already become actually about competition.
Yeah, bro. So I do feel that you should really let those very rich countries host. Like China will do it well, do it safe, you know. Tokyo also, I think it was quite a very well done.
But it's also the culture of the country.
Yeah, cool.
Like generally, Japanese are a very honorable society. So the way that they do it, right, they will make sure that everything is in tip-top condition when needed.
Yep.
Correct. But it's sad to hear these type of things, especially in what's going on. But France is France. They disappointed us in Euro. I don't want to talk about this, right? But before we move on, today what we are going to talk about is, of course, the transfers up to date. We've got our issues with certain transfers. We've also got our shocks of certain transfers, right? So today what we're going to do is that we're actually going to talk about the top 3 transfers and the top 3 worst transfers so far. We're going to talk about Manchester United under Ineos, what has been changed, the outlook from both of us, basically the perspectives of what we are seeing from Man United, and are we moving in the right direction under Ineos. Then, of course, we have a new segment called, what is that? No, what is that? We have a new segment called What is Going On?
Yes.
Basically, where Paul will have like 1 or 2 tidbits of like news or interesting sports stories that will go like, huh? Like, maybe leave question marks. So we will do that towards the end of the episode, or probably maybe the middle, just to give something. So we are introducing the new segment. This will be a weekly segment, by the way. So with that, Paul, are you ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's go with a new episode of the Futbol Kaki. Okay, so to begin off this episode, we are going to talk about Manchester United and Ineos Group. Things have been looking up for our team, me and Paul. We are both Manchester United supporters, right? With the quick signings prior to the pre-season tour of America with Joshua Zirkzee and, of course, Lenny Yoro coming into Manchester United, right? I'm a bit shocked about this, right? Because, bro, I think you agree, right? In recent years, right, our transfer business has been super slow. So, like, we've always bought players towards the end of the window, right? Or like we're just chasing, right? But this year, right, I think under Ineos, right, just on transfers alone, right, the direction has changed a bit, don't you think?
Yes. At first I was like wondering how come they didn't do anything in June.
Yeah.
But then I realized that their Man U's financial year only starts in July, like 1st July. So basically they couldn't they want to close all the accounts for the previous financial year before they make any purchase. So when the moment 1st July came, I remember I saw movement started. The Dan Ashworth came in, everybody started their jobs, right? And then within 2 or 3 weeks, we had Joshua Zirkzee first after the 1 day after Netherlands got knocked out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think just last week was Lenny Yoro. Yeah. So I'm pretty surprised we only played 3 preseason games so far and we already made 2 signings. So I'm quite happy about it. But it could be better. Never settled for what is happening at the moment. Yeah.
I agree, because in a sense of, let's say, for just the way that we are conducting transfers alone, right? We've always been get the bit done, then after that talk to the player, right? For the contract signing, right? Now we are doing the reverse. We're actually agreeing terms with the player prior to signing them from the club. So meaning that at least in the event that the club is signed, right, the terms are already done, right, we can just immediately move on. But if there's a transfer delay, right, we still got options on the other side. So one example I think you and me will agree is basically the Braithwaite example. The initial bid was how much with the Everton wanted from Man United for Jared Braithwaite?
No, Man U offered 40 first.
Yep.
40 plus add-ons. Then it got rejected, and then Man U upped the bid to 45 plus add-ons. And then after that, they rejected, then Man U decided to keep the deal on hold. And then decided to look at Euro. Yep.
They got Euro for, if I'm not mistaken, was about 50 million pounds, then it's about 60 something million euros. 52 million pounds, 68 million. So it's about 62 million euros. It's interesting because even though, yes, people are saying, oh, you're paying 50 plus million for a teenager, right? Statistically, he actually has one of the best defensive stats in Europe for players under 21.
18 years old,
yeah, for 18 years old. So it's a different type of signing whereby we're not going by players according to hype. So it means that, oh, you're buying a Centro, oh, you're buying an Anthony, oh, you're buying
a player that
last
plays
year
in a big club. Yep.
Yeah, or last year Mason Mount, where all of us went why? That type of scenarios, right? But you're buying players that statistically have data backing the justification of the transfer.
Yep.
So it's something that can be justified in terms of cost. Because if you think about it, let's say for example, right, you pay 52 million for him at 18, right? If let's say for example, 5-6 years down the road, he ends up being a very good player, right? Hypothetically, right? You could sell him for more if let's say he really says, okay, I want to go Real Madrid. You can sell him for maybe 80 to 100 plus million if he does well over the next few years. So there's a lot of investment that you can do in him over the next few years. Plus also, right, the thing that's interesting to me, right, is that United are not sticking to just one transfer target all the way. Yeah. They are doing multiple and they are walking away from when necessary, which is the Jared Braithwaite one is
after
one prime example.
Rejected, yeah.
You were they're not going after him, right? It's oh, you don't want to pay, you don't want to accept my bid, okay, I walk away.
Then we should go and buy the Euro straight away, which Everton found it very baffling. Because they say how can Euro be worth more than Brentford?
Yep.
When he never played in any of the top leagues. According to them, it's French league's not really a top league compared to the EPL or La Liga.
Which is a fair statement to say, but just that the problem is that Brentford also had this thing where for a fact that Everton are trying to get rid of him, right, just to settle their FFP.
And no, it's the fact that they came out with a statement that saying that they value him as much as the in terms of fee that compares to Maguire and Cavadio.
Yep.
So they want like clear 70 to 80 million for him. No club in the world will pay that for him. Maybe
No.
the menu of last year maybe will lah.
Yeah, but the current Man United won't know. So I think that ended up in a situation where they were hoping that they could get this amount of money, and then the purchase of the deal will come over for like the takeover for Everton will happen. But in the end, it both fell through. Yep. So now Everton is stuck in a situation whereby Gerald Brentford is asking for the amount of salary that he would have been paid at Man United.
Yeah.
Which is 160,000 right, a week.
Yes, 160,000. I mean, they can afford to buy. They can afford to give him lah. It's whether they touch the heart and say that do they really want to keep him or not? You know. Yeah,
that's true. But speaking of which, right, like other transfers in the pipeline also have been the delete transfer, Ugarte, Maswari, right,
or Denzel Dumfries. Yes,
correct.
Either one.
So the thing is, there are a lot of links that are happening, right? But you know that there are things where it's not just I'm not just signing one option. I'm trying to get multiple options also.
Yes. So like what you said, Ineos, right? They are doing a different approach, very very different approach from last maybe like 3 managers or 4 managers. Yep. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. I still can you imagine like last season, right? This time, the Richard Arnold and John Motto were in Barcelona. Do you remember? They were in Barcelona and like totally nothing came out of it.
Like it didn't make any like. What's the point? Like why are we going? It was like
club. They couldn't convince the player and club. So I don't know why they decided to go to Barcelona. Maybe just for what? To use Man U's money to go for a holiday? Yeah.
Correct. I didn't get it also. But like even for this year, right? Like let's say for example, with the Braithwaite saga, with the Euro one, with the lead, right? It's 3 separate centre backs, which is the need that they are talking to already, right? The lead technically, from what we understood, he's agreed personal terms already, right?
No, wait, bro. Both players agreed personal terms already.
They both agreed personal terms already, right?
And delete, yeah. So I think it boils down to which club can offer the best deal for Man U,
Correct. So in essence, right, everything is already settled. It's just they just got to agree on a fee.
Yep, correct.
Whereas like previously in past years, right, you have been settle the fee, argue the fee, right? Then by the time you get to the player to agree, right, it's already the beginning of the season.
Then the Man U just pay the premium price.
Correct. But now it's different already. So with that, you've also got midfielders like Ugarte that are probably on the list for Man United, right? And they are smart in a sense where, like we talked about this separately, like they are targeting clubs where they know that they are going to bring in somebody big or somebody that is in the similar position, right? But they have to sell the player to be able to fund the transfer.
Yes.
So like with Neves going from Benfica to PSG, right? PSG need to sell somebody.
Yep.
But the problem with PSG and United now is that they want the price that they pay for Ugarte.
Which was, I think, for 50 million, is it?
About there.
51 million, yeah. Correct.
So they basically just want to break even on the Ugarte deal. But likelihood they're not going to be able to do that if they're going to be justifiable. So you think about it, right? What they can do is that, okay, Man United can do is, okay, I agree to your money, but I do a split cost over the next few years. But the thing is that PSG likelihood will not agree, because if they do that, they have to agree, they have to do the same thing with Neves to Benfica. And Benfica may not agree.
Yeah, and United already did that for Zirkzee, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they promised. I mean, like they are going to pay over a period of 3 years. Euro, I'm not sure what was the payment structure like.
Euro, I think is upfront.
Yeah, because they had to fend off the interest from Real Madrid also.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually Liverpool also was looking at him, but they never really like made a bid lah. So the only 2 clubs they were in the run was Man U and Real Madrid.
Yep.
Ugarte has been in the talks for quite a few weeks already. It's just that I United need to sell players before they can make another purchase.
Yeah, which is basically we are living off of an issue that has been caused by the previous regime under Richard Arnold and John Motto.
Yep.
Is that the players are so bad in forms, right, that nobody wants them.
No, but they are being inflated. Their prices are inflated.
Yep.
Yep. When their true value is like maybe I would say like half of it, or like maybe even 3 times like lower than their original asking price. Hopefully we can sell either McTominay or Casemiro, then we can get the... I
think Casemiro has a higher chance of going out the door than McTom.
Yeah, because Fulham, okay, at the moment Fulham, they made a bid for McTominay, but it was quite ridiculous, 12 million. Yeah, and then like, meanwhile, like other clubs like, Arsenal, they're selling Smith Rowe for 35 million. What has Smith Rowe done in the past 2 years? Absolutely nothing, bro. Like, it's like make it make sense, right? What has Smith Rowe done? Whereas like McTominay has like decent traits. He is captain of Scotland.
Yep.
He performs in the international level.
Yep.
Right. minimally, right?
And he scored about 10 goals last year.
Yeah, the 10 goals last year. And then what? Smith Rowe is triple the price, asking price of him? No way, man. Yeah, come on.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like, as much as we don't like McTom's work rate is higher.
No, I'm fine if we keep McDormand as a
backup.
rotational player, yes, but he cannot be a starter lah, for
Correct.
sure. Yeah.
Which I agree, but I do think that in essence, right, like Casemiro has to go lah. So far, right, to conclude this segment, right, do you think that we are heading in the right direction? If let's say we have to move like in terms of business wise currently,
compared to the previous years, I say it's an improvement. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's see come the start of the season how we will look like lah. Because ultimately you can do all this right. But if your team doesn't have a playing style and everything, you will boil back to the manager again. So let's see.
Yes. Which is why, right, like they extended Ten Hag until 2026, right? But technically it's only a 1 year extension because his contract expires 2025.
It's a subjective thing, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that if like he does not meet expectation, they can terminate him within the next year, right?
Yeah, correct. Because what they're also telling him is that, okay, I'm going to extend you for 1 year. You say that you have not had the best players or not had a great approach, right? We're changing the approach for you. I give you 2 years. If by this year,
actually one lah, right?
Yeah, I give you 1 extra year. So basically, the 1+1. If this year you don't go, I can tell you, right, if this year with the amount of investment that they've done and the amount of players that they've gotten to him, right, if it doesn't work, right, he's gone. 100%.
Now it's really on him, right?
Correct.
Like this time is really on him. So like, let's see lah. But I do feel, but it's worrying bro, because all the players he's getting it's all Dutch, bro.
Yep.
Right. I think Dumfries is Dutch.
Yep.
Zirkzee is Dutch. It's either Dumfries or Masraoui, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know lah. Like there's just maybe a certain type of football that he wants to play that maybe the Dutch players only can do. But we shall see lah.
Yep.
We still have to get rid of dead weight, but I think that one is another thing for another time because we've already spoken about this ad nauseum already in the past few years lah. So, I think for me, right, to conclude this segment, I do agree in a sense where we are moving in the right direction. But like I said, let's not get ahead of ourselves because it's only been 2 transfers. I would say that if we can get 1 midfielder and 1 more centre back, that would be a good transfer window already. Right? Any player after that, if you get FIFA, is a bonus. Right?
Yep.
To me. So I think we shall see about that. Moving on to our brand new segment right now. What is going on? So Paul, this is your segment. You are the star. What is your tidbit for this week?
Okay, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people has seen this like at the start of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first game for football, right, they played Morocco.
Yep.
Okay, and then throughout the game, right, there was a lot of like nonsense going on. Okay, like what fans threw bottle, they protest the pitch, they invaded the pitch, the players had to be taken out, and then Argentina were losing 2-1. Then they 16 minutes extra time, injury time, and then they scored a winner. Okay, so basically what happened, right, was like I just cut the story short. There was Morocco was winning 2-1. Okay, and then Argentina equalized in the 16th minute of injury time. Okay, so the 2-2 lah. Then they ended the game. However, a few hours later, the referee called everybody to come back. Both players to come back. So what they did, right? They called everyone to come back, restarted the game, checked VAR. There was an offside, cancel out the goal. Morocco win.
Huh?
Bro, it was yeah.
Whoa, wait. This actually happened, right? This is real, right?
It's real, bro. You go and see. Morocco won 2-1. But
okay,
it was just that everything was so messy that VAR, it was a VAR F-up lah. Okay, it was a mess up by VAR. Then they had to cancel out the goal, right? So the only way to cancel out the goal is to call everyone back to restart the game first.
Yeah. No, but everybody left the stadium already, right?
No, I think it was like 1 hour later. Then they called them back. I don't know if they were still in the locker room or they were in the hotel already. But all I know is that they called them back, they restarted the game, then they canceled out the goal.
Hey, it's
a major screw up.
You can't do, bro. In football terms, you can't do that. If you mess up on a VAR call, it's messed up. It's over. Final score is final score.
I mean, it's like, do you remember the few years ago during COVID, the game ended between Man Utd and Brighton, and then the referee restarted the game to give Man Utd the penalty, remember?
But the difference between that, right, is that happened at the game. On the spot. Right? Yeah. This is, you're talking about
1 hour later, 60 minutes later.
A total finish. The game is considered finished already. What VAR call takes 1 hour?
Yeah. Somehow it's like all the fans left. It wasn't even sure that I didn't even see you on the broadcast, bro. You go and search Argentina Morocco controversy. Yeah, see, after following a delay of over 1 hour, bro.
2 hours, bro.
2 hours, right? I remember it
2
was
hours.
3 hours. Yep. So what do you think, bro, about this whole situation?
Final score is final score lah.
2-2
But-
means 2-2, right?
2-2 means 2-2. And I don't understand how
Regardless of
what
whether the VAR make mistake,
what
right?
type of security is there, right, that you can allow fans to invade the pitch?
Yeah. So there was a lot of rumor, right? They say like, first and foremost, right, who was playing? You see which two countries were playing?
Argentina, Morocco.
Okay. Then what happened after the Argentina during the Copa America? What did they do?
They sing
Remember
the
Enzo they were racist, right?
Yep.
They sing it towards who?
France.
And then where they play?
France.
Yeah. So and then they sing towards like the Muslim African people, right? Then who's the opponent?
Morocco.
Which is African, right?
Yep.
That's why, bro. I think the fans were like super enriched about all this. But nevertheless, I feel that the security should be tighter, lah. I feel
Yep.
to protect the French players.
No, in the first
Argentina
place, this shouldn't have happened is one thing, right? But you cannot do a VAR call after 2 hours of a delay, lah.
Yeah. So Javi, the manager was Mascherano. And you want to know what's another like scary thing?
Right.
So when the Argentina players went into the field, right? Like when they played the game, when they came back, Mascherano said that a lot of the players, right, were missing their watches, their jewelry. So like even security within the stadium is not like secure.
But that's their training base, though.
Or training base. Yeah. So like I'm just saying like in terms of being in this Olympics so far, another security issue.
Like in essence, right? Like what you're saying is that what happened, right, was that it was 2 hours after the game, right, that the VAR ruled out Argentina's goal, lah. After fans broke onto the pitch, lah.
Yep, and decided to recall the goal and overturn the goal.
Correct, lah. It was after suspension of play, right? So I won't say I don't really know whether the game ended, but I think suspension of play technically to me is if you're doing it after 2 hours, right, then it's just like what the heck.
Suspension of play is because the fans invaded the pitch.
Correct.
Yeah, which is.
But did the game officially end?
Yeah, it's officially end. Bro, I told you the referee called them back to rule out the goal and then they ended the game. Because on paper they have to say that the goal was overruled during gameplay, man. Utter shambles, bro.
This is shambolic, lah. So I think we'll just leave it at this, right? That is really a what are you doing? What's going on? It's really a what's going on moment, right? I don't understand this. This is nonsensical to me.
But I have to say something. On the other hand, on a more brighter note, Julian Alvarez, right, will be able to complete football, right? If Argentina wins Olympic gold, he would have won every single like trophy there is to win at club and country level. At age what? 23, 22?
Yeah. It's not bad for a young boy.
I think not. I don't think anyone has ever done that.
No.
Maybe Pele. I don't know if Pele won Olympics.
I don't think so though. Like you're talking about Champions. You're talking about.
He never played in Europe, right?
You're talking about Champions League, World Cup, Copa America, FA
The
Cup,
title,
Premier League, League Cup,
Club World Cup,
Club World Cup, then Olympic gold.
Olympic gold. So that's like the most decorated trophy cabinet there is to win.
Yeah, correct. But we shall see what's going on, right? But this one, bro, like it's a major screw up. Not after 2 hours, lah. You should have just like after the 60 minutes, you just call play, just say the official game over, right? Game over, right? Then just ended it there. Not you call everybody back after 2 hours, say.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine, right? If you're playing in this game, you'll feel robbed. Yeah, if you're Argentina.
Yeah, clearly, bro.
What to do? This one really makes us go like, what is going on, right? This didn't make us smile. This make us like, huh? Okay, but never mind. Moving on. We are going to conclude this week's episode with, of course, our top 3 transfers. So, Paul, over to you.
Okay.
Tell me, what is your top 3 transfers of the window so far, EPL related?
Yep.
We have to say this, right? It is EPL related because everybody knows that the top transfer in the entire window is Mbappe going to Real Madrid. But we are not talking about international transfers. We're talking about this predominantly EPL related because if it's not EPL related, right, Mbappe number 1. Best 3 transfers.
Does it include transfers out? Like if you sell, it's considered transfers, right?
Yes. Okay, I would define it more towards like transfer in.
Transfer
like,
in.
Adding to a EPL team that makes the team better. Or like game-changing transfers.
Okay, then first one I would say is Aston Villa, bro.
Who? Related to who?
Aston Villa. Okay, so Aston Villa, I feel by far they have the best window.
Okay.
It's like hands down. Okay, I will talk about the transfers in. Okay, so for Aston Villa, right, they bought Onana from Everton.
Yep.
They bought Madsen from Dortmund.
Yep.
And then they bought Ross Barkley for very cheap, like 1 or 2 million to bolster their midfield lah. So it's a second window that they bought a relegated player. So last year was Tielemans.
Yep.
This year is Ross Barkley.
Yep.
Actually, not a bad deal, right? But I would say Onana is their best transfer so far. 50 million. So they did save like Everton's financial fair play lah, right? By providing 50 million to them. But I want to say also, like, their transfers out is so good. They sold Musa Diaby for 55 million. And then they sold Douglas Luiz for 70 million. Transfer out, they sold Douglas Luiz 70 million. They brought in Onana for 50 million, right?
Yep.
So there's a net profit of 20 million. Plus Juventus gave them 2 players.
For Douglas Luiz.
For Douglas Luiz, yes.
That's a good deal. Who are the 2 players?
Let me see. I can't remember. It's I think 2 youngsters.
Enzo Barnachea and Samuel Elling Jr.
Yeah, so it's like a striker and a midfielder plus 70 million for Douglas Luiz.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad deal, yeah. So I feel that's number 1 lah for EPL so far for Aston Villa. Second one, I think it will be. It's not confirmed yet lah, but I do think that is Lenny Yoro for Man U. I think so lah, because it's very clear that we lost Varane, right? And we needed a backup centre back. So everyone deemed him to be like the next Varane. Like even Real Madrid also felt that he's the generational talent of his age lah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Lenny Yoro for number 2. We really spoke about him just now, so I will not talk too much.
But just to chime in, right? Like people often forget, right? Like Varane signed for Real Madrid at the same age.
Yep.
So it's about 18 years old. So if let's say Lenny Yoro turns out to be Varane or better, right? That's a very good investment already.
Yeah, I agree. Third transfer, bro, Ian Maatsen lah for sure. Okay, honestly, Arsenal is buying somebody, but it's not confirmed yet, so I will not say it lah at this stage. Yeah.
Yep.
Maatsen is he was from Chelsea. He went to Dortmund.
Yep.
And then Dortmund sold him for 40 million.
Isn't that a repeating of like the Aston Villa one? Because you already said Aston Villa already part of
but it's top 3, right? Yeah. So I just realized I didn't rank them lah.
So So your top 3 is Douglas Luiz. No, it's basically Aston Villa's window.
No,
then after that
transfer in, right? Then Onana, Yoro, and Maatsen.
Amadou Onana, is it?
Amadou Onana, yeah.
So Onana, Yoro, Maatsen lah.
Yes.
Okay. Can. So I think those are good transfers basically to secure a lot of things for the EPL lah. Like a lot of players want to actually come to England still, which is a good thing, I feel. Yeah. Because we are moving into a post Ronaldo and Messi era already lah. So it's a Haaland and Mbappe era lah. But then again, right, Mbappe going to Real Madrid is a totally different thing altogether. But moving on, right, what are your 3 worst transfers of the window?
For EPL clubs?
Yes.
Okay, I think this one you gotta go look at like Chelsea someday. I don't really know, bro. Is does Lukaku count when he comes back to Chelsea?
Okay. I think maybe let's just change it a bit, right? Let's just not talk about worst transfers. Let's talk about the 3 transfer mishaps. Basically, like the ones where like it should have gone the other way, right? But then because of your like stupidity or your like certain things, right? Then it ends up like you didn't get what you want. I can give you one lah.
Okay, you see?
The Brainfit one lah. Simple.
Oh, for Everton lah.
Yeah, bro. That to me, right? I feel right like that one has to be one of the at least maybe like I think to me it's 1 lah.
But it's not confirmed yet, man. What if he comes?
No, okay. The thing is that it's not confirmed yet, right? But I call it like a current transfer mishap because the thing is that let's say for example, right? My argument for this, it might change, it may not change because the thing is that but you think about this, right? United approached you first. You wanted this amount of money. Yep. United bid this amount. You insisted on this amount of money, right? Then because you're using the previous years of United, basically United U-turn get probably the best available youngster centre back at the moment available to Man United, which is in Euro after Brentford, right? Then they got them. Now essentially Everton, right, has no leverage whatsoever over Man United at all. Plus their takeover deal fell through.
Plus the player don't want to accept the new contract.
Correct. So in the end, right, your whole entire transfer mishap, right, is either you're going to lose Brentford on a free sooner or later, or you have to sell him at the price that you initially rejected.
Yeah.
To Man United.
Cheaper. Yeah.
Or even cheaper. So basically, right, to me the transfer mishap because you basically got no leverage whatsoever.
I agree, bro.
Like that is to me is like the dumbest thing that has happened this window lah.
It's like if Man U buys delete, right? Game over.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy another centre back already. Right?
Correct. There's no point in me spending extra money to go and buy Brentford from you where you rejected me in the first place.
So like the worst thing that can happen is Man U buy delete.
Yeah.
Then they sell the Brentford for 30 million to another EPL club.
Which is basically $45 million below what you were asking for.
Where you could have taken 50 for it.
Correct. So that is number one, right? Do you have anything that is similar and basically two up?
Maybe question mark signings lah.
Yep. I think let's go with that. What's your other two?
Signings. Okay, so Chelsea, they bought this guy, Dewsbury Hall from Leicester City.
Okay.
And it's a very obvious thing that is because the manager was from Leicester. Right. So he's a central midfielder. And then who are you gonna play him over? When you have Enzo, you have Gallagher, and who else? They play a two-man midfield, right? Is it?
Yep.
Cole Palmer, yes, Cole Palmer. So how are you gonna play this
Dewsbury Hall, right?
Yeah. When you spend 30 million on him.
And you got Romeo Lavia, don't forget.
Yeah, you have Romeo Lavia that you spent 50 million last year that you have not used. You have not touched. 30 million on a player that in a position that you don't need, I feel it's quite bad. I felt that they could have spent the 30 million on a keeper. Like maybe Lunin. Yeah, Lunin is a very good shot for 30
Yeah, he's a good option. Actually, to me, I find Lunin very underrated.
Yeah, but it's because he can't get into the Real Madrid team.
Yep.
Courtois is coming back from injury, straight away play Champions League final, right? And
correct. But it's Courtois the reputation precedes him, right? But side note, right? Chelsea lost 4-1.
Yes, I saw that.
All right, what's the last one to round up?
Last one. Okay, Man City.
Huh?
They bought this guy, Savio from Girona.
Yep.
They spent 50 million on him.
Okay, so what's your question? What's your question mark?
Have you actually seen this guy play?
That's my question mark.
Okay, yeah, so it's a question mark signing. Okay, I will put this one and the Joshua Zirkzee together. Nobody has actually seen them play, only maybe clips of on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the Zirkzee one doesn't look so bad because it's very obvious that we needed a striker.
Yeah.
And we paid, I think 30-something million for him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But Savio, 50 million from a Giro.
No, Zirkzee was 45 over 3 years.
Yeah. Over 3 years. Yeah, so 15 per year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Savio, 50 million, I've never seen him play. This is the amount that they paid for Maris, a few years ago. Which EPL striker, EPL winger is worth 50 million? I think only a very, very few of them are worth 50 million. Like Saka, Salah, Son. Yeah, so I don't it's a question mark. Will this be a Man City's version of Anthony?
Yep, maybe. But I also do think, right, like that, if you were to really just think about it, it's a lot of, I don't know, dude, a lot of question marks. Because
playing on the right for
City
at the moment.
It's not only that. Girona is under the City Football Group.
Yeah, but the thing is
that they're not fully owned by City.
Yeah, and Savio went on loan, right? Savio was on loan at Girona or what again?
I cannot recall, dude.
Yeah. He was on loan to Girona from this French club called ESTA Troyes. I don't know what's that. Yeah, so 50 million though for a right winger. Which I feel that they needed because they have been playing Foden at right for quite a while, right? Yeah, so now their left they have Grealish and Doku. On the right they have Foden and him.
Oh, by the way, Troyes is under the City Football Group as well.
Money laundering. Oh, really? Troyes is under City Football Group?
Troyes is under the ESTA, Esperance Sportif Troyes Ober Champagne.
Yep.
Then, yeah. Troyes is...
So they went from a City-owned group to loan to Girona, which is partly owned by City also. And then how you can buy Savio when we cannot buy Todibo?
I don't know, bro. It's basically like your RB Leipzig and your RB Salzburg. But Salzburg never played Champions League.
Right? Huh?
Salzburg don't play Champions League.
Yeah, so I feel it's a very different.
No, I feel honestly, I do think that Todibo one is literally because, if United was in the Champions League, the transfer would have been fine. It wouldn't have been an issue. It's because we're in the same competition.
Then just make the rule that when, let's say, if they meet each other, then Todibo cannot play lah.
Yeah,
why not, right? Yeah, that's as simple as you can make the rule, right?
Basically, it's you're basically cup tight lah.
Cup tight, yes, correct.
It's cup tight lah. It's cup tight. So I don't really know. I got no idea about Savio on Savinho or Savio, or I really got no idea. Look,
yeah.
Let's just hope that it turns out right for City, but there's a lot of question marks lah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So to conclude, right, I think we're just gonna call this the
Question mark transfer.
the question mark transfer sagas or question mark transfers lah.
So far.
So I think number 1 is the Brainfade one.
Brentford.
Yeah. 2 is the Dewsbury Hall. 3 is Savino or Savio lah.
Yeah.
So I think to conclude this, right, the window is still ongoing. We've still got quite a while to go, right, before the window ends lah. So before we conclude, right, this you got anything else there, bro?
Yeah, I would like to ask your comments. So what do you think about Liverpool and Arsenal so far, their transfers? Chelsea and Man U is like roughly they have incomings. Man City also have 1 or 2 incomings.
Liverpool haven't got anybody, right?
Bro, I think they are more focused on keeping their players.
Yep.
Salah
because
Salah and Van Dijk, bro. Either one.
I do think like Van Dijk's leaving to me.
He's still on holiday, right?
Yeah. So they have to come in and get this sorted out lah. I don't really think there is going to be much of movement yet because there's a lot of question marks on a lot of things lah. So I will just leave it as it is, right? I don't want to comment on other things so fast because currently, right, Liverpool's main team is got there, but I do agree that they do need reinforcements. Like if let's say Van Dijk's gone, right, why are you not trying to find a centre back?
Yeah, or like maybe he will U-turn and say he'll stay lah. So we don't know, right?
Maybe. But Liverpool is in a different state right now than what they were lah. So yeah, you got anything else before we close off?
Yeah, that's it, brother.
All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you continue to support the other shows here on the network, which of course are the Copy Bros every Monday. Yes, that is right. Every Monday they are back to the regular time slot after the Euros, which we have occupied for the past few weeks. I think last week's episode was more towards like the Joe Biden's stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there has been a lot of things regarding the American politics, especially with Trump and Biden, and of course Biden officially stepping out of the race lah. So do go and watch our comments about those things, what our boys have to say about that. And then of course, if you like game shows and want to have a little bit of fun, then watch us draft a little bit of unique topics. We do have the SG Draft podcast every Friday. Last week was, of course, in view of the Olympics. We have the Olympic Games draft, where we draft about different events and where they fall, right? I still can't believe that breakdancing is an Olympic sport and bowling is not.
Yeah, how is bowling? Bowling, I feel, is a physical and accuracy game, right?
Yes, it's a mental game also.
Mental game, yeah. So how can it not be an Olympic sport, right?
I got no idea, bro. Like, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028, but bowling is not.
Okay, so what I heard from bowling, right, is that they say it's difficult to maintain consistent environment conditions. That's why it's not an Olympic sport. So like all the right-handers, right, then the left-handers, you know. So like the lane patterns and all this will change.
But that's the whole point of bowling, what?
Yeah, like you have to find your pattern in the environment, in the setting, right?
Correct. Okay, for those of you that don't know, right, me and Paul were competitive bowlers for a period of time, so we actually understand this situation, right? I think I still don't understand it, but that is a topic for another day. We will discuss this on a different time. Maybe even like soon we will talk about this, right? But before we go, bro, do you have anything else to add?
I'm good, brother. Enjoy the Olympics and get ready for the new season. I think,
okay, so with that, we just want to say thank you to everybody for watching the Futbol Kaki, and of course, give your support to the Chit Podcast Network. If you have not liked and subscribed, please do so. And if you have, please tell your friends about us so that we can continue to grow the channel. So from everybody here, from me and Paul, from the Futbol Kaki, from the Chit Podcast Network, have a great week ahead. Enjoy the Olympics. Football is back. Hope your team does well, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.